Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we shine a spotlight on the hidden workings of the corporate world. And let me tell you, this latest filing from Kronos Worldwide is like a sneak peek into a manufacturing giant's secret recipe. We'll be diving into their recent moves and what they mean for the titanium dioxide market and even beyond, so buckle up. Alright, so Kronos Worldwide just dropped a report, and the big news here is about a debt offering. They're raising some serious cash through selling senior secured notes. Think of it like the company taking out a big loan, but instead of a bank, they're borrowing from a bunch of investors who buy these notes. Basically, Kronos International, which is a part of Kronos Worldwide, has agreed to sell 75 million euros worth of these notes. These are due in 2029, meaning the company promises to pay it all back by then. This is happening through something called an institutional private placement, which just means they're selling these notes directly to big investment firms, not the general public on a stock exchange. The deal is expected to close around the middle of September this year. Now, why is this important? Companies raise money for all sorts of reasons, like expanding their business, paying off other debts, or just to have a cushion for tough times. For Kronos, which makes titanium dioxide a key ingredient in paints, plastics, and paper, this kind of financing can fuel growth or help them navigate market fluctuations. This form, the 8K, is like a company's public announcement of really big, important events that aren't part of their regular financial reports. This debt offering definitely qualifies as a significant event. The press release they put out confirms this deal and clarifies that it's their subsidiary, Kronos International, that's actually doing the selling of these notes. It also mentions that nothing in this filing is an offer to sell or a solicitation to buy these notes, which is standard legal speak. Now, like most filings, this report includes what they call forward-looking statements. These are basically educated guesses or predictions about the future, like how the notes offering might go or what their plans are. It's crucial to remember that these aren't guarantees. The report itself warns that actual results could be very different due to various risks and uncertainties that they've outlined in their other public filings with the SEC. This is a standard disclaimer, but it's important. It means if you want to know the real nitty-gritty about what could go wrong, you need to look at their more detailed financial reports, like their 10K for the full year and their 10Q for the recent quarters. That's where you'd find things like competition, economic downturns, or changes in raw material costs that could impact their business and this debt deal. Okay, so let's talk about where Kronos is traded and how it's structured. Their main stock is the common stock, which is what most people buy and sell if they invest in Kronos. The ticker symbol for Kronos Worldwide is CARO. This is how you'd find it on a stock market tracker. And it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, or NWATS, one of the biggest and most well-known stock exchanges in the world. This tells us they're a pretty established company. This filing also tells us that Kronos Worldwide is incorporated in Delaware. Many US companies choose Delaware because its laws are often seen as favorable for businesses. This is their SEC file number, a unique identifier they have with the government's financial watchdog. Scroll 7602949959s, and this is their employer identification number, which is like a social security number for businesses, used by the IRS for tax purposes. Scroll 5430 LBJ Freeway, Suite 1700, Dallas, Texas. 7 main office is located in Dallas, Texas. Scrolling 97233 Henry Spring. And their main phone number is listed here too, though we won't be calling them right now. Scroll item 9.01, financial statements and exhibits. Stängstring Kasdir. This part of the report is about what backup documents are included. Scroll extensionally, it lists the exhibits that support the information in the filing, like the press release we just talked about. Scroll 99 press release dated September 3, 25. Issued by Kronos Worldwide Inc. regarding pricing of private offering of senior secured notes exhibit. 99.1 is the actual press release they issued on September 3rd announcing this debt issuance. It's incorporated by reference, meaning it's considered part of this official report. Scroll 4 cover page interactive data file embedded within the inline XBRL document. Stängstring T-Stun Exhibit 104 is the usual cover page that's formatted for computers to read easily, which is standard practice nowadays. Scroll to H and Seal. Finally, the signature block. This shows who officially signed off on this report for Kronos Worldwide. Scroll through is Bradley E. Troutman, who is the Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. As the CFO, he's directly responsible for the company's financial health and reporting, so his sign-off means he's given his approval to this information being released to the public. So what's the takeaway here? Kronos Worldwide is actively managing its finances, using debt to potentially fund its operations or growth. The amount, €75 million, is significant but not necessarily alarming for a company of its size and scope in the chemical industry. It suggests they are confident enough in their future to take on this debt and that investors are willing to lend them the money, which is generally a positive signal. However, without seeing the detailed financial tables from their other reports, it's hard to say precisely why they need this capital or how it fits into their broader strategy. Are they aggressively expanding, refinancing older, more expensive debt, or building a war chest for potential market downturns? The fact that they held this as a private placement to institutions means the deal was likely structured efficiently, without the complexities of a public offering to individual investors. It also means we won't immediately see the detailed terms of the notes in this filing, but the press release gives us the headline numbers. Looking at the broader context, the titanium dioxide market can be cyclical. Prices can swing based on demand from industries like automotive, construction, and consumer goods. Companies like Kronos need to be nimble, managing their production costs and inventory levels effectively. Issuing debt like this can provide the financial flexibility to weather those cycles, acquire competitors during downturns, or invest in new technologies to stay ahead. Now, if you want a true picture of Kronos' financial strength and how this debt fits in, you'd really need to dig into their latest 10Q or 10K. Those reports contain the detailed financial statements, the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. They'd show us their current debt levels, their cash on hand, their profitability, and how much revenue they're generating relative to their expenses. For example, we'd want to see their debt to equity ratio to understand how much they rely on borrowing versus shareholder investment. We'd also look for trends in their revenue growth and profit margins. If their profits are rising and their debt is manageable relative to those profits and cash flows, then this €75 million note offering is likely a smart strategic move. If their profits are stagnant or declining, then taking on more debt could be riskier. But based on this 8K, the main story is that Kronos is securing financing. It reflects an active management of their capital structure. Whether it's a sign of aggressive growth plans or prudent financial management depends on the numbers we'd find elsewhere. The presence of an experienced CFO signing off suggests a level of seriousness and competence in handling these financial maneuvers. So what's my take? Kronos is acting like a responsible company by managing its debt and securing funds at what seems to be a reasonable time, given they're issuing the notes to institutional investors. It's a move that signals stability and a forward-looking approach. The real test, as always, will be in the company's operational execution and how effectively they deploy this capital. We'll be watching their future filings closely to see how this debt impacts their financial performance and their position in the competitive titanium dioxide market. Alright, that's our breakdown of Kronos Worldwide's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.